Hello everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of my Duelyst video series, produced in partnership with Counterplay Games. And today I have the privilege to share with you not one, but two preview cards from the Denizens of Shim'zar expansion. Sort of preface this, it's kind of funny that when I first started playing Duelyst, the very first decks that I built were Magmar, or sort of mid-range decks. Magmar and Lionar are the two factions that I've played by far the most at this point, but in my first set of Spirit Orbs, I opened a Silithar Elder. I actually opened two copies of Silithar Elder by the end of my first sort of orb opening experience, and I was like, well, I have these awesome giant legendaries. It seems only appropriate to try and build my decks around them. Silithar Elder was kind of the big boss for a long time in Magmar decks. And, I had many games where I had boards full of Silithar Elders, and it was super awesome. But Elders kind of faded a bit from prominence over time, in part due to just the sort of increasing aggression of the metagame, and in part just due to the fact that it can be easy for your opponent to ultimately deal with these big minions sort of wherever they are on the board. But that's kind of changing with the upcoming expansion shift to the rules relating to Rebirth. And while there's some rumors that Silithar Elder itself, it may have some sort of change, some sort of nerf to it based on the Rebirth change, I'm still hopeful that I'll get a chance to use those Silithar Elders again. And I certainly am excited to use them with these cards. So if you don't know, the change to Rebirth coming with the expansion is that instead of taking until the end of your next turn for your eggs to hatch into their original minions, your eggs hatch immediately at the start of your turn, and then the minions can attack. So whenever egg hatches, the minion effectively has rush, so you can actually use it immediately, which means that not only is it imperative that your opponent kill your eggs because they represent sustained value, but they can also just represent a minion that's going to attack and kill them. And these cards are great at enabling that. So let's start off with Wild Inceptor. So this is a 4-cost 3/3, not terribly impressive, but opening gambit, hatch a friendly egg. Now, this is powerful in a number of ways. It can obviously be combined with things like Chrysalis Burst. You can potentially pick whichever one you want. You get it hatched immediately, just go to town. Obviously very powerful with a veteran Silithar. It's like, oh, I'll attack you with my veteran Silithar. Okay, now I will Wild Inceptor my veteran Silithar. I'll go ahead and attack with it again because it just came back to life out of this egg. That's a really strong effect. And I've seen a bunch of cards in the Denizens of Shim'zar expansion that kind of push individual mechanics, whether they're Backstab or Dying Wish, things like that. But these are some of the most exciting to me because these kind of do what they're doing pretty naturally, and I think that the Rebirth mechanic in Magmar is one of the things that kind of gives it its flavor of, these giant monsters that are really difficult to defeat. And Wild Inceptor certainly helps with that theme. But what helps even more is my second preview card. So Dreadnought. It is a 6-cost 4/6 with Rebirth, so it works very well with Wild Inceptor itself, and also gives your egg minions you summon +2/+2. This is a very big deal in terms of making your Rebirth heavy decks, or even just your decks that happen to have a number of veteran Silithars and young Silithars. It gives them much more resilience. Obviously, your opponent's general just being able to walk up and whack your eggs and kill them immediately, or just shoot them down with Jaxies, whatever else. The fact that Dreadnought protects them from those minor assaults helps to very much ensure their survival until future turns, unless your opponent invests actual resources in breaking them. And the fact that they actually have attack as well means that your opponent can, if they attack them with a minion, that they're going to actually lose some amount of health on that minion. So each one of those exchanges not only requires a legitimate minion, but also deals damage back to that minion. So if you have Dreadnought alongside, say, Silithid Elder, it's very difficult for your opponent to clear up all those eggs before they're able to actually just hatch into more Silithar Elders. So I am definitely looking forward to the rise of our Silithar Overlords once again, once we have Dreadnought and Wild Inceptor in the Denizens of Shim'zar expansion. So hope you guys enjoyed this reveal. Hope you guys are as excited about the expansion and these new cards as I am. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.